Hello, and welcome to Newmarket, Virginia for tonight's Valley Baseball League contest between the visiting Front Royal Cardinals and your Newmarket Rebels. It is the final day of Parents Weekend here at Rebel Park. It's threatening rain, but stayed clear. We're ready to play some baseball. Jack, you got the Cardinals starting lineup?
I do indeed, Andrew. So the starting lineup for the Cardinals of Front Royal. Leading off, he's new to this leading off role. JoJo Montgomery, the Villanova slugger. He's playing center field tonight, number 1. Danny Orr follows him. He's the right fielder, number 34. Nick Jaromboski, the left fielder, number 44, follows him. And batting cleanup for the Cardinals, Hedrick Torres, the catcher tonight. Jackson Kehoe, the third baseman, follows him. And Sean Andrade, the second baseman, is after Kehoe. Trey Freeman, the designated hitter, follows him, number 33. Carter Bailey is batting in the 8th spot, the shortstop. And Jonathan Masson, the first baseman, is in the 9th spot. And pitching tonight for the Cardinals of Front Royal is Andrew Fierro from Marist.
And the starting lineup for your Newmarket Rebels, leading off playing second base out of Potomac State, Jonathan Mallow. Batting second, playing left field tonight, Matt Murchison. Batting third, the center fielder, Mario Magana Jr. Batting fourth, moving into the infield for tonight, playing third base, Joe Terranova. Batting fifth, at first base, Jaden Harriel. Designated hitter tonight, Matt Murphy. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, Maddox Land. Batting eighth, a new arrival and doing the catching, Gio Mendoza. Batting ninth, getting the start in right field, Zach Banks. On the mound tonight for the Rebels out of St. John's River, David Treadwell. With that all said, JoJo Montgomery in the box for the Cardinals, ready to do battle with David Treadwell, and we are off. First pitch, misses up and away for ball 1. Having a little deja vu tonight. Second time the Cardinals have been in town in about 5 days.
Actually, the second time in 4 days. Newmarket's dropped the last 5, looking to right the ship tonight.
2-0 fastball catches the inside corner for a strike. Ground ball fielded at Terranova at third, and his first chance as an infielder for the Newmarket Rebels is successful. 5-3 to retire JoJo Montgomery.
Well, that's how you start off your stint in the infield very well. A nice 5-3 play right to you. That'll get you familiar with it really quick, get you refreshed and ready to go.
Terranova, an infielder by trade who has mostly shifted to the outfield for the Rebels this summer, but talked to him the other night and he was excited to get some infield reps. Ground ball to land at shortstop. He's got it. Throws across, close play. Called out at first base, 6-3.
And while the Rebels there were really fortunate that batted ball bounced off of the pitcher's mound there. If it did not and it skipped over, it would have been right up the middle for a base hit. Luck of the bounce there for the Rebels. Solid start for Newmarket.
Quick, we didn't even get to say Danny Orr's name, but he was the batter for the Cardinals there. Jaromboski now. I can feel it coming. I'm going to call him the Royals at some point tonight.
Sometimes it gets a little tricky. I've certainly made that mistake a couple times.
Called strike. Popped up, shallow center. It is going to fall in between 4 Newmarket Rebels, about 15 feet onto the outfield grass. Nobody was quite sure who was going to take that one. It'll be down for a single, or a double rather, as Jaromboski was hustling, and he's going to cruise into second base.
Yikes, and that's a blooper reel moment right there. Probably going to have a little conversation in the dugout after that one. Certainly, it looks almost like a team chemistry thing. Didn't call it out. Somebody's got to take ownership of that one. Grab that floating, popped up ball. Really a head scratcher for the Rebels.
Another ground ball to land at shortstop. He's got it. Throws across in time. So the mental miscue by the middle of the Rebels defense does not cost them. Hendrik Torres goes down 6-3. No runs on one hit, no errors, one runner left on base. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the Rebels half of the first in just a moment.
Getting out the Rebels from Potomac State College. Second baseman number 2, Jonathan Mallow.
Jonathan Mallow going to lead it off for the Rebels, as is becoming familiar. We added in some music in the commercial break. Let us know in the comments if that came through well for you. Trying something new to enhance the experience a little bit. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Mallow. Fierro on the mound for the Cardinals tonight. Sporting the stirrups. We see that a lot from the Newmarket players because it's required. Don't see it as often for opposing teams, but I like it. It in the air to fairly deep left field. It is going to hang up for the left fielder, Drombowski, for the first out of the inning. Fairly well hit by Mallow, but no luck.
And Andrew, we saw Mallow struggle a little bit in that game against Woodstock, and by a little bit, he did not get a hit, and he really struggled to get on base at all, but he stepped into a really, really good game against Strasburg. He was able to get a couple solid hits, but just not the right placement there, but it's good for him to get the bat on the ball and get one at least out into the ballpark.
First pitch to Murchison, called a strike. Gets the start in left field tonight. Slow chopper back to Fierro. He's got a nice easy toss over to first. Murchison goes down 1-3.
Covering out center field, number 13, Mario Magana Jr.
Mario Magana had a couple hits last night in Strasburg. Fouled straight back at us.
And Andrew, we were talking a little bit about that game in Strasburg. 13 hits and 3 walks. Rebels were all over the bases. But 14 runners left on base at the end of the day. They only got 1 run off of the home run from Harriel. That's only one. It's just not a. It's 1 RBI, and it's just you got to be able to drive your teammates in, and that was their Achilles heel.
Either unfortunate sequencing, bad luck, or just excellent defense from Strasburg. Hard to say, but Rebels have certainly stranded a lot of runners this season. Some of that comes from having a lot of runners on base. If you score a lot of runs, you'll kind of automatically leave runners on, but I know it's been frustrating at times with stranded runners. Takes it outside, 2-2 on Magana.
You've got 8 out of your 9 players on your lineup getting hit, yet you only secure 1 run at the end of the game. Something really bad must have happened.
Another slow ground ball towards first. This one's going to trickle foul. Going to rate the crowd as medium size on the Newmarket front. Not a lot of fans from Front Royal tonight. Understandable with the questionable weather. I'm a bit in the know for the Rebels, and even a couple hours ago we weren't sure this game was going to be played, but the weather really never hit Newmarket.
Ominous clouds over the mountains.
That one's lifted down the left field line, slicing foul. Couldn't tell if that one made it all the way out of play or just kind of bounced off the fence down there.
Completely obscured is our point of view.
The top of the Rebel dugout cuts off the left field line. Another one hit foul. It's really only about 10 feet from the line that we can't see, but frustrating how often balls end up in there. And Jack a little bit more cut off than me just based on where we sit in the press box. Another foul. 4 in a row fouled off by Magana. Terranova waiting on deck.
Magana's been a little bit late on some of these pitches. I'd like to see him step into this one and rock it out into the outfield here. We know he can do it. We've seen it many times before.
This one's hard hit ground ball to shortstop, fielded on a short hop, throw across. Pulls the first baseman off the bag, and Magana's going to reach. Protest from Masson over at first. It'll go down as an E6. Throw was on the home plate side of first base. Masson tried to swipe around to catch Magana and could not get him.
Third baseman from Southeast Missouri State University. 5, go. Terranova.
And that's an unfortunate throw for Bailey. He did a great job fielding that ball, bouncing ball, brought his glove down, snagged it, but just messed up on the throw.
So speedy runner aboard for the Rebels. Terranova at the plate. Called strike. Check on Magana at first, not in time. Jaden Harriel waiting on deck. Magana going. Is in time at second base. Thought Magana was going to be in there, but he is called out. Strong throw from Torres behind the plate.
Runs, no hits, 1 error.
No runs, no hits, 1 error. No runners left on for Newmarket after 1. Remains scoreless. We'll be back for the top half of the second. Just a moment. Jackson Kehoe going to lead it off for Front Royal in the top half of the second. Right-handed hitter. Those clouds look ominous on your screen. Don't worry, those have already passed us. This weather kind of moves home plate towards right center generally here at Rebel Park. Storms almost always come from behind us. It's a little breezy.
A little bit chilly in the valley here.
Called, strike 1. Treadwell all around the zone early. One fouled off. Another pitch fouled off. It is Parents Weekend. A few bonus activities. I know some of the parents and players were hanging out at Wolf Gap Vineyard this afternoon. Shout out to the folks at Wolf Gap. Excellent hosts and big Rebel fans. Had a little picnic under the pavilion on Friday for visiting families and hosts. Gathering at a brew house yesterday and then the vineyard today, so packed weekend for Rebel fans and parents. Full count pitch. Fouled off again.
And Andrew, we saw this a lot from Kehoe in the game on the 24th against Newmarket with Front Royal, obviously. He was walked 3 times, and part of the reason why he did that was because he was able to foul off a lot of pitches and stay alive in at-bats. We're seeing it again here right now.
Another one fouled off. Easily up over 15 foul balls in this game already. That one's hit into shallow center. Going to be another one that falls in. This one more due to positioning than communication. Leadoff single for Jackson Kehoe.
Yep, and I kind of spoke it into reality. Find your pitch and drive it, and he pops it right into a ungrabbable spot, really, for any Rebel. Right in that little triangle there, Bermuda Triangle, like we call it. Really in the dead center of it. No way anybody can grab it.
Yep, draw a triangle between shortstop, second, and center field, and that's where that ball landed. First pitch to Sean Andrade, called a strike. Second misses well outside. Inside, ball two. Valley League Commissioner Rick Furr in attendance tonight. Came up and said hi in the first inning. Travels up and down the valley, taking in different games at different ballparks.
Always a pleasure to see Mr. Furr.
This Mitch is inside from Treadwell. He gave a little shake of his head. Good pitcher's pitch, but I'm sure if you're a batter, it looks like a ball. That fastball is low and away. Ball four. First two men are on for Front Royal in the second.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mendoza so far. The new catcher just got here this afternoon. Hasn't really been tested quite yet, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. No pass balls, no drops, no nothing. Solid performance so far.
Foul ball on the ground. Gio Mendoza coming from Central Florida, the Patriots. Was a regular in their lineup this spring. Rebels had an opening at catcher following the departure of Josh Hines. That one's low for a ball. So 1-1 on Freeman. Runners at first and second, nobody out, playing in the top of the second. That one's outside, 2-1. Playing back all the way around the infield, including Harrell at first, not holding the runner.
And Andrew Mendoza at the College of Central Florida didn't see a lot of action from September to November early in the season. However, on January 24th and the games after that, that was a doubleheader, I believe, he played pretty much every single game for the Patriots after that behind the plate. So solid stat from him. He played a lot of games. He's got a lot of experience. It's exciting to see what he can bring to the Valley.
Is past the halfway point in the season, which tends to be when you start seeing turnover. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Treadwell to get Trey Freeman swinging for the first out of the inning.
That's just what the doctor ordered if you're Treadwell. Get Freeman going on the breaking pitch there. That's really what you need with two runners on after giving up two straight bases, so good job by him.
Excellent job fighting by Treadwell. Carter Bailey, next man up. Mallow dancing back and forth, holding the runner at second. That's the high fastball swung on and missed.
Oh, you got new guy right next to new guy. Carter Bailey in his first game for the Front Royal Cardinals. Less than 2 feet away from a new market. New man being Mendoza.
Breaking ball misses low and away, 2-1. Yeah, that just reiterates the point. At the point in the season, some players start to sign with new schools or get tired or get injured. A lot of turnover in summer leagues these days. That one pops out of the glove of Mendoza, and the runners are going to advance. Pass ball. Makes you wonder if maybe there was a cross-up or something. You don't see that too often where a ball just pops out.
Well, I kind of spoken into reality. A little mishap there. Free base for the front row base runners. However, not that big of a deal with one. One gone, looking to get 2 here.
Full count on Bailey. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Bailey goes down swinging. Treadwell doing his best to work through trouble.
Great job for Treadwell. That's 2 straight swinging strikeouts now. Looking to close it out here against Masson.
First pitch just out.
And Andrew, I feel like this would be a really good fire for the Rebels team if they can get out of this situation. But a deja vu to earlier in the season, they'd load the bases and then find a way to escape out of the jam. And
that one misses low for a ball. Yeah, the first week Rebels were the comeback kids, we were starting to call them. Hit a little bit of a rougher patch recently, but that's baseball.
certainly is baseball.
You have a night like last night where you have double-digit hits, but they're just not in the right order to score runs.
And let's not forget about that game against Front Royal. It was one bad inning, really. If you erase that inning, I think the Rebels win that game 6-1, I believe, maybe 6-2. But it's just a really solid, team. It's just one bad inning can ruin it.
That one just outside for a ball. Kehoe dancing around at third, trying to distract Treadwell. Can't recall ever seeing a straight steal of home in a Valley League game. Nice curve. Swung on and missed, full count.
Great pitch there by Treadwell.
Really took something off and had a lot of movement.
I correct myself. It would have been 8-5 Newmarket over Front Royal if you completely erase that 11-run inning in the 6th.
Full count, 2 outs. Top of the second pitch. Ground ball. Looking down on the Newmarket side, and I see David Treadwell's parents right in the front row there, if I'm not mistaken, taking some pictures.
Love to see it.
We were talking about it on Friday night, but the viewership dips during Parents Weekend. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Rebels fans might be outnumbered by Front Royal fans in the live stream tonight. That is a walk for Masson, who heads on down to first base. And JoJo Montgomery is going to get in that bat with the bases loaded.
Couldn't ask for a better opportunity if you're JoJo Montgomery. 14 RBIs on the season already for Front Royal. Really solid chance to add to this total.
First pitch was a ball. There's a nice curveball called strike. One and one, 2 outs. Bases full of Cardinals. Chopped foul down the third baseline. Nice play by the Cardinals' third base coach. Gets a round of applause.
Treadwell has certainly been throwing that breaking pitch very well. That's a curveball. I talked with him a little bit a couple days ago about his arsenal.
There's a hard hit single up the middle. It's going to score at least one. Second run's going to come around and score as well. Magarna tried to field it and fire, but didn't come up with it cleanly. No error, 2 RBI, single. Kehoe and Andrade come in to score. Two RBIs for Montgomery, and the Cardinals have taken a 2-0 lead here in the second. Fastball to Orr misses up high. Grounded out on the first pitch he saw in his first at bat, so we didn't even have a chance to announce him. That one's fouled off.
I don't think I've ever seen a baseball player hold the bat like Danny Orr does. We've been seeing a lot of different, I don't know how to describe it, ways you hold the bat, but he's pointing it almost at Treadwell in front of his batting helmet.
Ground ball to Mallow at second. He's got it. Tries to go to shortstop, spikes it into the dirt, throw goes into left field. E4 on Mallow. Tried to take what I guess he was considering to be the easier out at second base. Flipped and threw overhand from short range and pulled it down into the ground. E4, Montgomery comes around to third. Masson scores from second. So 3 across.
Just a rough mishap there from Mallow.
Misses for a ball, 1-0.
The moment he went over to land, couldn't really believe it the way that kind of looked how they were talking.
Check swing, ground ball to third. Treadwell's actually going to get to it first, but he's going to have to put it in his pocket. It's a check swing into basically a perfect bunt and an RBI single for Drombowski. Don't think Terranova would have had a play either.
It's a perfectly hit bunt, if you will. I mean, it's can't really get any luckier than that if you're Dombrowski. Check swing, just barely makes contact and just rolls it down the line like a perfectly paced bunt. Really nothing he can do.
First pitch to Torres. Low for a ball. Gets the start at catcher tonight.
I like that pitch from Treadwell, even though it wasn't a called strike. He was downstairs right on that lower half of the strike zone. Finds it right there. We've been seeing a lot of Valley Baseball League players kind of swinging at lower pitches downstairs, kind of unable to lay off of them. They really think that they can kind of fly it out if they get the right contact on it.
That one just misses for ball 2. Another one that just misses ball 3, 3-1.
And we saw it there from Torres. Really wanted to go on that one downstairs. Took the bat off his shoulder. Kind of got down in his stance a little bit to hit it, but holds off on it. Good eye from him.
Fastball just misses ball 4. It's going to prompt a visit from pitching coach Mark Davis. Mendoza, the catcher, out to join in. Gotta think this is a conversation saying, David, you haven't done much wrong here. Got this. You can get out of this without any more damage. Some unlucky hits that have found holes, and then a little bit of defensive miscue added in. Jackson Kehoe back in the batter's box. Bases full of Cardinals once again. 2 outs, playing in the top of the second. Ball outside. Jack, you're being called out.
I was just about to say it. I was rightfully called out on the announcer's jinx for the one bad inning. I believe it was the Kenty family.
Well, hopefully the Rebels will get out of this one with no further damage, and if that's the bad inning, they got a good chance of coming back and winning this ball game.
I think so.
1-0 pitch. Just out, ball 2. Pretty tight strike zone, I would say. Not saying it's a bad strike zone, just that it is a tight strike zone.
And every umpire has a different strike zone that he or she prefers.
Swing and a miss. I think any Valley League head coach, manager would tell you they're not going to have a problem with the strike zone as long as it's consistent for both teams and throughout the entire game. If it's a little bigger or a little smaller on one night, that's up to the team to adjust. That one's in for a called strike 2. Two. Popped up, shallow right field. Banks is there. He's got it. F9. Treadwell does limit the damage. Cardinals score 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 Newmarket error, 3 runners left on base. After 1.5, it's Front Royal 4, Newmarket nothing. We'll be back for the bottom half of the second on the other side of this break. Joe Terranova back in the batter's box. He was batting when Magana was thrown out at second in the previous inning. So he's kind of getting his second look at Andrew Fierro, even though it's his first at bat. Fouled back into the screen behind home plate. That one's lined into left field for a base hit. Low liner right between the infielders on the left side.
And that's exactly the start to the inning that you're looking for. If you're Newmarket, no walks, get a guy on with a great, solid shot into left field. That's really a momentum starter that kickstarts an inning, certainly really for any baseball team.
Here's Jaden Harriel, fresh off a home run last night. That one's outside, 2-0. Rebels looking to rally. A couple umbrellas out. Might be drizzling. That one's lined into center field. First two men, both single for the Rebels. Off of Fierro here in the second inning. Matt Murphy, next man up.
That's another great hit. I kind of want to hold my tongue here. Don't want to jinx anything. But that's a solid hit for the Rebels. Now 2 on with nobody gone.
Murphy shows bunt, fouls it back. I think that was definitely a bunt for a hit, not a sacrifice bunt. Oh, 1 looked like a breaking ball that stayed up and away.
Sometimes those breaking balls are hard to lay off of. Good job by Matt Murphy to stay lenient on that moving ball.
That high breaking ball is called a strike. Rebels fans didn't like it. So Murphy behind 1 and 2. Maddox Land waiting on deck. That one's lifted into left. Gonna hang up for the left fielder, Drombowski. F7 for Matt Murphy.
Number 12.
Maddox Land to the shortstop. Batting lefty against Fierro. Land a switch hitter. 2 switch hitters in the Rebels lineup.
And Andrew, this is one of those moments where having a switch hitter can really make it a million times harder for a defense to read a play, to be able to stop a batter, especially in moments like this with runners on base in scoring position.
Ground ball just under Fierro's glove. They're going to try to turn 2. Second to shortstop. Third to first. Not in time. Nice diving stop by Masson. Saved a run by flagging that wayward throw.
Cole Miller. Having to play catcher from College of Central Florida. 5, Gio Mendoza.
Gio Mendoza getting his first Rebel at bat with a runner in scoring position. Maddox Land over on first is a threat to steal. Torres gave some signs to the infield there. Big lead. Mendoza takes a ball just out. Land going, throw down, not in time, cut off in front of the bag, double steal. Terranova safe at the plate. Rebels score a run here in the bottom of the second inning on the double steal. Land had second stolen pretty easily. Throw was cut off just in front of the bag. Kind of a double clutch on the throw home. Might have had a chance at Terranova if that double clutch hadn't happened.
Yep, and that's just a good heads-up play by Terranova. You got the throw down. Why not go 90 back home? Gets under that tag attempt by Torres. Good job. And 1 on for the Rebels.
That one misses outside, making it 3-0 on Mendoza as the pitch that got all that action was up and in.
Really excited to see what Mendoza can do at the plate. Obviously, this being his first at-bat with Newmarket.
Called strike. That one got some calls from the fans, but looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch, in my opinion. Vieira's doing pretty well right now.
(3-1) fouled off. So the count will go full on Mendoza. Land out at second, has good speed. Would expect for him to score on a single. He's going to third, fouled off. Didn't look like he had a huge jump.
Andrew, I was about to say, I wouldn't expect to see Land take off for third, but, you know, I was proved wrong right there in a couple seconds. Especially with 2 gone and a solid catcher in Torres, but he went.
He's going again. That one's lined into center. It's going to be down in front of JoJo Montgomery. Land is going to come in to score standing up. And Gio Mendoza has an RBI single in his first at-bat for the Rebels. Welcome to Newmarket, Mr. Mendoza.
About to say, welcome to the Valley Baseball League. Your first at-bat, nice RBI single to...
Right fielder from Henry Riddle. 9, back.
Newmarket fans really getting behind the team in this inning. Feel some life out in those stands. That's going to get a mound visit from the entire Cardinals infield. Looking over at our screen of what you all are seeing, and mountains really popping tonight with the white clouds up above. As always, feel free to interact in the YouTube chat. We love to hear from you, be it Rebel fan or visitor.
Might come up with a few trivia questions to throw around on the broadcast, see if anybody snag a few.
Zach Banks, next man up. Very conservative lead at first from Mendoza. Called strike.
And Andrew, not a single stolen base for Mendoza in his 2026 campaign with Central Florida, so I wouldn't necessarily be expecting him to take off for second anytime soon.
I would agree with that assessment, especially based on the lead that he has taken over at first base. Fierro kind of walking around on the mound. Gotta wonder if,
Like maybe some dirt
actually,
in his eye.
yeah, catcher might have been the hold up there. Might need to get an eye washed out.
Yeah.
Cup of water being brought out to Torres.
Sometimes when those balls skip in the dirt, they can kick up some dirt towards the catcher, sometimes into their eye, which is definitely not a good feeling. Taking off his gear is Torres. The question marks going on here in Newmarket. We don't know the status of Torres. He ran over to his equipment bag to grab something in the dugout. Seems like we are waiting on him, and out he comes. To have some kind of eye drop of some sort. Certainly not feeling too good based on his body language. He took off his chest plate and ran over. Meeting with the trainer and bat boy hybrid.
Fierro taking some warm-up tosses. I think that's a good idea, Doc. We're going to take a quick break while this situation gets worked out here in Newmarket, and we'll be back as soon as play resumes. Situation has resolved with Torres behind the plate. He's still in the game, and we're ready to keep going. Banks fouls it off. Did take that brief break, check the weather a little bit. There are some chance of thunderstorms kind of throughout the evening. They're small little isolated storms, so I don't think we'd be looking at a a rain out at any point, but we could see a delay if there's lightning in the area, so just keep that in mind. 1-2, swung on and missed. So after the brief delay, Fierro strikes out Banks to get out of the second inning. Newmarket does cut the Front Royal lead in half. After 2 complete, it's Front Royal 4, Newmarket 2. John Andrade leading off for the Front Royal Cardinals. David Treadwell still on the mound. He did do a little bit of maintenance in the home plate area, adding some quick dry material to the dirt down there. Had some rain throughout the day today, but nothing too significant in Newmarket.
Brandon talked about on the stream that there were some evil clouds and how they looked. They certainly don't look too happy.
But again, those clouds not a threat to us here as they're going the opposite direction. Or at least mostly left to right.
Yes.
That one's hit hard into deep left center. Magana on his horse. He can't quite get to it, and it is going to be on the warning track. Throw is coming in. It's going to be play at third. No play. It's a sliding triple for Sean Andrade. I think I just changed how I said it. Oh, cramp perhaps over at third base, just out of view. Andrade laying on his back, getting stretched out by the third base coach. So back-to-back Front Royal injuries here. Rebel trainer also out. He's walking it off.
Yeah, and that's the worst feeling as an athlete, especially as a baseball player, getting that cramp. A little anxiety that you maybe did a little bit something worse. Maybe took a bad step. I was a swimmer, had a couple cramps myself. Does not feel good.
I think most people at one point or another in their life have had a bad cramp, even if it's For us mere mortals that didn't play college sports, it might be you wake up in the middle of the night with a bad cramp, but most people have gone through that, and let me tell you, it's not fun.
Those calf cramps are killers.
Pitch from Treadwell to Freeman is low and away, ball one.
You ever had a foot cramp, Andrew? Those things are the worst as well.
I think I have had a foot cramp. That one's in the dirt and kicks away. Actually hit off the batter's foot, so it'll be a hit by pitch instead of a wild pitch. It'll keep Andrade at third for now. And we might be getting a pitching change. Had not even noticed that anybody was up in the bullpen just yet.
Treadwell visibly frustrated, rightfully so. Not a really good pitch there as you plunk Freeman.
And basically third play in a row. Trainer is coming out. Looks like Treadwell holding his shoulder. And he's going to exit this game right there. So, a lot of activity for the training staff on hand tonight. Looks like Andrade's going to come over to the dugout to maybe get a drink or something. We're going to have a pitching change, and he will have as long as he needs to warm up. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back whenever we're ready to resume play once again. Eric Peralta out of the University of Miami is the new Rebel pitcher. Hard throwing, big, tall, right-handed pitcher. Runner going, throw to second, not in time, throw home, not in time, and gets away from the catcher. Double steal, second double steal we've seen tonight. Freeman advances to third on the errant throw from Mallow. Rebels infield. Left side is drawn in, right side not drawn in. And first pitch to Bailey hits him. One across for the Cardinals. Nobody out, and they have two men on the corners. Peralta had a pretty successful freshman season at Miami. Struggled a little bit with his control last time out. Didn't have some close pitches go his way.
During that pitching break, I came up with our first trivia question of the evening. I'm a big A's fan. If you guys haven't tuned into earlier broadcasts, we talked about a little bit about Moneyball, but here's a good trivia question for you as
Runner
the runner
going.
takes off.
No throw this time.
The 1989 World Series against the Oakland Athletics and the San Francisco Giants was interrupted by an earthquake. And so here's your trivia question. What is the name of that earthquake that took place, and what game was delayed because of that? That is your trivia question. Anybody in the YouTube chat can answer that.
We'll keep an eye on that for the next little bit before Jack will give us an answer. Don't think I know I know part of it, but I don't know the name of the earthquake. Fastball low, 3-1. Fouled off down the third baseline. Peralta, a hard thrower, is regularly getting up into the mid to upper 90s at the University of Miami this spring. A little bit slower over the summer here with Newmarket, but he's been up to 93 in this inning. Told me he's got up as high as 98 in the spring.
We've seen solid outings for him in the 4 appearances that have taken place with him before this one.
That fastball fouled off. Haven't really seen the breaking ball yet in this outing.
Definitely have not. He appeared in 8 games for Miami this season. Struck out 13 batters. He's certainly a solid pitcher for the Hurricanes.
That one's lined just inside of third base and into left field. It's going to score 2. The throw goes into second. It is a 2 RBI double for Masson. Bailey scores from second. Freeman scores from third. So far, the Cardinals just have a Newmarket's number this week. Wasn't particularly hard hit, but it was right over third base. Terranova dove, probably missed it by a couple inches.
Just mishaps, unlucky moments.
I would say that ball only got 40 feet into left field, into the grass, not super far, so it actually made it take longer for the ball to come in.
Yep, definitely a very light hit, and fortune has not been on the side of the Rebels, especially against the Cardinals this season.
1-0 from Peralta, misses down and away, 2-0. That might have been the breaking ball, swung on and missed.
Yep, and what a breaking ball that one was. Broke right down.
Peralta looking frustrated out there.
It's a really solid job by Mendoza to get over to that ball to not allow Masson, who's over waiting at second, to get over to third and get closer to having one run in.
Montgomery started to walk to first. Home plate umpire says not so fast, called strike 2.
I think we've seen this before when batters start to take off towards the base. The umpire basically says, hey, I'm in charge here. Get back here. Let's get another pitch going.
So full count. Check swing. No swing. Ball 4 to Montgomery. 2 men on, nobody out. Already 3 across.
Right fielder.
Action in the Rebels bullpen looks like Lane Giroux. There was a crispy fastball on the inside
That's
corner.
a great word to describe it. Crispy. Right on that inside corner, inside third. No chance for Orr there.
That was an off-speed pitch that missed outside. Check swing, foul ball at the plate.
And Orr reached first on that kind of head-scratching play by Mallow in the second. Rebels looking to avoid anything like that.
One, two, fouled off.
That was a mighty close check swing there from Orr. Got some oohs and ahs from the Newmarket crowd. He certainly took that bat off his shoulder on that check swing.
Two. Lifted deep and foul down the right field line. Banks gave it a look, but it's about 15 feet over the fence and out of play. Goes inside and misses. Full count.
He was trying to replicate that first strike. That one you called crispy.
And crispy it was. It seemed like that one had a little bit more oomph on it. Full count pitch. Chop towards third. It's going to be a tough play. Barehanded by Terranova. Throw across. Out at first. Ariel snagged that one up against the helmet of Orr. Looks like he might be feeling that one. That was a very unusual play. Great play by Terranova at third, who hasn't been playing third. But as I said, the ball was high coming into first. Ariel kind of reached up, and it looked like almost like the ball pinned Ariel's glove to Orr's helmet. Both runners advanced.
And that one's certainly going to smart.
I think he's holding his hand.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, especially hand, elbow, anywhere on your arm, really. But let's revisit that one-handed, bare-handed grab by Terranova. What a job by him to be able to race down there. That's one that you'll definitely want to throw on your highlight reel.
Yeah, put a star on that one.
Put a star on it, exactly.
Kind of an unusual night at Rebel Park. Lots of kind of wacky plays, some injuries, some hard hits, some errors, a little bit of everything in this one. Ariel has shaken it off, and
for some reason I feel like it kind of fits the evening. It's a little bit sloppy in the skies, a little bit of sloppy baseball down here.
Dromboski fouls off the first pitch he sees from Peralta. That one's hit into left. Murchison's going to be under it. Runner tagging. Throw coming in is going to be cut by Terranova. That one was deep enough that Murchison did not have much of a chance to throw the runner out. Montgomery stayed put at second. Masson scored.
And that's mission accomplished for Front Royal. Good sacrifice fly from Dombrowski. Now an 8-2 ball game. Extend their lead. Now 2 straight 4-run innings for the Cardinals. Another great pitch right there.
Goes to the breaking ball. Misses. That one's hit into right field. Banks has it. Gives us a little hop as he catches it. F9. Rebels get out of the inning, but not before 4 more runs come across for the Cardinals. 4 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 Newmarket error, 1 runner left on base. Top of the order for Newmarket in the bottom half of the third on the other side of this break. Jonathan Mallow going to lead it off for the Rebels. Andrew Fierro still on the mound for Front Royal. Bit of an interesting one there. I think may have been a cross-up with the signs. Ball went straight past the catcher. It looked like he moved his glove expecting it to break over the plate, and it stayed just outside. So 2-0 on Mallow. Rebels looking to cut into a 6-run deficit. Called strike. Fouled back.
Right to us.
Yeah, that one was straight at us if the net hadn't been there.
Watch out. Bring my glove to the media box. Grab a souvenir.
We've talked about it, but it can happen.
Definitely can.
Breaking ball stays outside.
I've heard you say it happens pretty much every 2 years. Is this the
I would say on average. I don't remember one last year, so I think we could be due.
this could be the fateful night?
Mallow takes ball 4. Leadoff man on for Newmarket. With their 2 most prodigious home run hitters due up. Murchison with 2, Magana with 3.
Murchison.
Decent lead over at first from Mallow. He is a threat to steal. Murchison looked like he's trying to take advantage of the third baseman playing very deep. Tries to bunt. Fouled it
Like
off.
you just said, if you're Fiera here, I'm throwing anything but a fastball right down the middle, because if either Murchison or Magana gets their, body around and they're bad on this one, it's gonna leave the ballpark. So I'm throwing breaking pitches, I'm throwing curveballs, I'm trying to throw these batters off their game as much as I can. We see it right there. Solid pitch from Fierro for a second strike.
Can say none of the 5 home runs from either of these two were cheapies. It might not sound like a big number, but Rebel Park, not a homer-friendly park. Swing and a miss. Murchison goes down on 3 pitches. Not a home run-friendly park at all, really.
Well, I talked about the breaking pitches. How about no? How about he sends a fastball right upstairs for a big swinging strikeout on Murchison? Fierro's doing really well here in bottom of the 3rd.
Here is Magana. Mallow, slightly bigger lead. Fakes like he's going to go and stops. Pitches a breaking ball in for a ball. That one's hit into deep left center, but the left fielder is going to have time to get over there and reel it in for the second out of the inning. Based on how fast he started to run, I thought that was going to carry a little farther than it did.
Let's see how Terranova does on his second at-bat. He had that nice shot out into left.
Back pick at first. Mallow in with a dive.
Good heads up play by Mallow. Get back over to first in time, not get picked off by the catcher. Don't usually see that. That's a risky play.
Flare down the right field line, slicing foul. Good effort by Orr. Covered a lot of ground, but couldn't quite get to
I
it.
was about to say, Orr was moving for that foul ball. Had to hold on to the fence out there in right field to stop him. Mallow's got a lot of cardio. He's been running from second base to back to first, then sliding back to first, and now running from second to first again.
Number 25. Go. Nova.
Solid eye there from Terranova, taking that one outside.
2-1. So we play in the bottom of the third, already an hour and a half into this one. Terranova hits it hard to center. Montgomery back, up against the wall, drops it. Certainly looked like he should have had it. Couldn't quite tell. It was a deep fly ball up against the wall. Looked like Montgomery had it, and the ball popped out of his glove. Call it an error for now. We might watch the replay on that one.
University. 1, Ariel.
And he was certainly pinned up against the wall. He was not anywhere. He was way deep into the warning track. I think he had his entire back against the wall. Did look like it, and my point of view, that he got his glove on it. I think he dropped it. I think you're correct on.
That's probably the hardest play for us to see from where we are. Throwing that and then 425 feet away. We will watch that one back to see, but looked like he was more or less camped out, and the ball just popped out of his glove when he went to catch it.
That's what you're looking for if you're new market. Start clawing your way back into this one, run by run.
Ground ball, shortstop, slowly hit. Throw across is in time. Ariel goes down 6-3. Rebels do score one. 1 run on no hits, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. Jackson Kehoe going to lead it off for Newmarket, or for Front Royal in the top of the fourth. Eric Peralta back on the mound for the Rebels. A bit surprising after an extended appearance in the third inning, but has also worked as a starter, so back in there.
Off the Cardinals, third baseman number 6, Jackson.
Jackson Kehoe is the leadoff man for the Cardinals. First pitch is a called strike. Second pitch, also a called strike.
Well, Kehoe certainly has gotten the ball in play tonight. He's gotten 2 hits into the outfield. One of them was gloved. However, one of them was down in center for a base hit. I believe that was an RBI. May be mistaken, but I think it was. He did score in that inning. That was the top of the second. That 4-run inning for the Cardinals. He also got a verbal warning from the umpire in the game against Newmarket on the 24th. Don't know what happened there, but he's certainly a passionate player. And there's nothing wrong with that. I
Misses for a ball, 2-2.
think being a passionate player, that's good for baseball.
Fastball up, ball 3. So full count to the leadoff man in the top of the 4th, Kehoe. Swings at a fastball and fouls it off. Another full count pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Peralta was ahead early against Kehoe and then loses him. Brings up Sean Andrade.
Baseman number Sean.
Slender right-handed hitter. Not a big lead from Kehoe, although he does have an aggressive secondary. Pitch just misses for ball 1.
And Andrew Lane Giroux, number 20 for the Rebels, is warming up in the bullpen right now.
Fouled at the plate. One ball, one strike. Playing in the top of the 4th. Cardinals have an 8-3 lead. A lot of scoring early in this one. Runner going, throw, not in time. Stolen base for Kehoe. Hadn't had a very aggressive lead, as I just mentioned, but successful steal as the throw was on the third base side of the bag. Close play.
Mendoza kind of had his head down a little bit, frustrated with himself. He bounced that one over to the second baseman there.
Fouled at the plate. Just misses for ball 3. 3-2. Fouled off.
I think I will share the answer to our trivia question in the beginning of the 5th inning. I think I'll give you some time to think about it.
Maybe repeat that one in case anybody missed it.
I was just about to.
We'll get to that in just a moment. Try to get some interaction going in the chat on YouTube. Full count pitch from Peralta to Andrade. Upstairs for a ball. That's going to give us a brief break here at Rebel Park as we're going to get a pitching change. Coach Charlie Shepard out to the mound. He's going to take the ball from Eric Peralta, and Lane Giroux going to be the new Rebel pitcher on the other side of this break. Center field, I have to like go one. Lane Giroux on the mound, Trey Freeman at the plate. Fouled off.
Well, I'll repeat your trivia question here. The 1989 World Series was interrupted by an earthquake in a certain game. Which game was that? And bonus points were, what was the name of the earthquake? I'm a big A's fan, so naturally I will gravitate towards them for trivia.
Nice looking fastball, just misses. 2-1. Ground ball to first, foul. Did have a scoring change from the previous inning. We initially had an error on the center fielder. It's been changed to a double for Joe Terranova. On replay, clear double. Outfielder was still going back and hit the wall, which kind of jarred the ball out. So an additional hit in the hit column for Newmarket and take an error off the board for the Cardinals. 2-2. Fouled off. Swing and a miss. Drew gets the first man he faces on the strikeout swinging.
On shortstop number 2, Carter Bailey.
Carter Bailey, the shortstop, next man up for the Cardinals.
It's a solid start for Giroux. That first swinging strikeout. You got 2 runners on base.
First pitch fouled. So 0-1 on Bailey. Keep an eye on the runners. Oop, that one hits him. Tried to throw a breaking ball, just came out of the hand early.
Hey.
Jonathan Masson, next man up. Giroux really could use a double play ball. A lot of double plays in the game last night in Strasburg. I think through the third inning there had been 5 double plays. Might have been through the 4th. Just a spectator on that one, so not quite as locked in as when you're calling a game or scoring a game. Popped up, it's going to get out of play over the Rebel dugout. But actually bumped into the Strasburg broadcaster in between innings. He was running a little errand and he was commenting about how many double plays there had been. 1-1 to Masson. Bases full of Cardinals for at least the 3rd time tonight. Gets past the catcher. Could be a play. Could not get the tag down in time. Mendoza made a nice play to get the ball to Giroux, perhaps a step late getting to the plate.
And Kehoe was going down the line on that one. He was moving. And a nice stomach slide. Slides right under the tag in time for the 9th run for Front Royal this contest.
Fouled off. 2-2, double play no longer a possibility, so best case scenario for the Rebels now a strikeout to keep the runner at 3rd.
I suppose you could, in theory, get a double play. I think the odds of it are really unlikely. You'd have to go right, I think, into the waiting glove of either Mallow or Land and the other would have to hustle over to second in order to get there on time.
Another foul ball.
Yes, but the easy ground into a double play is not possible anymore.
True. Unconventional double play, very much still in order. Grounded up the middle. Mallow's got it. Throws across for the second out. It will drive in a run. Both runners move up, meaning Andrade scores Bailey to third. Second run of the inning, 10th run of the night for the Cardinals. I think normally you'd feel pretty good having scored 3 runs in the first 3 innings at the plate if you're the Rebels, but find themselves trailing by 7 despite 3 runs on 4 hits.
Still can't count out the Cardinals here, even with 2 away. You got one of, if not the best hitter on their team, in JoJo Montgomery up.
Who is ahead 3-0. First base is open. So in that regard, a walk doesn't necessarily kill you to a strong hitter, but time called at the plate. Not sure what
like a warning.
exactly.
No.
I thought I heard warning, but I don't know what it would be for unless it was a timing thing.
Maybe a mound conference, maybe?
That one's got me a
certainly
little
reading some-
confused.
Yeah. I'm puzzled.
Didn't seem to be any argument from the Rebel side, so whatever it is, probably justified, just not quite sure what it might have been.
It looks like it's a called mound conference. It'll be their second of the night.
Called strike on the 3-0 pitch.
We have a player from the bullpen ran onto the field really quick. He explain what happened there.
Montgomery draws the walk.
Looks like they were, they were warming up with the PVC pipe out there, and it just got over the wall somehow, and they had to do a little action move there, jump over the wall, the bullpen, run onto the field when the ball was in play, and jump back over.
I don't think anybody that was on the field actually saw that.
Yeah.
He had to be kind of looking at right field. I did catch it out of the corner of my eye as he was hopping back over the fence. Meanwhile, Danny Orr at the plate takes the first pitch outside for a ball.
We have seen Front Royal put up a tent next to the bullpen before. It is still out there. I think I've ever seen another team put a tent up.
If the current pace continues for a full 9 innings, they might need it for a sleepover because we'll be here into tomorrow at that
Get your
rate.
tents, get your truck beds, get thing. Take a
Called
quick nap.
strike. Two minutes away from being 2 hours into this ball game, still playing in the top of the fourth. Lots of base runners, lots of runs, lots of runners left on base. Popped up to first. Mallow on his horse. Another one that is just hitting exactly the right place. No lack of hustle from any of the Rebel fielders, but finds green grass just over the first baseman's head. Feels like there's been a lot of those recently. RBI for Orr, 11th run of the night for the Rebels, and 3 consecutive crooked numbers on the scoreboard for the Cardinals.
Yet we've seen it all night long for some reason. It's just luck is not in the favor of the Rebels. We've seen balls float over the heads. We've seen, a miscue in shallow right center. We've seen balls land that are just shy. We've seen balls land shy and right. We've seen balls land shy and center. We've seen this, really all night long, and there's really no explanation for it except just bad luck. How the game goes sometimes.
Really not a case where the Cardinals are hitting the cover off the ball. Had a couple hard hits for sure, but good placement, good selective hitting, taking their walks, taking their hit by pitches. Another one misses from Giroux, 2-1. That one's hard hit, but right at Mallow. There's baseball for you. The bloop goes in for a hit. The hard hit line drive is right at a fielder. Drombowski retired L4. Cardinals scored 3 runs on 1 hit. No Newmarket errors. 2 runners left on base. Matt Murphy, Maddox Land, and Gio Mendoza will come to the plate for the Rebels in the bottom half of the fourth on the other side of this break. Matt Murphy leading off for the Rebels, who are badly in need of some base runners. Takes the first pitch up and in from ball for a ball from Viero, who is still on the mound for the Cardinals.
And in the bottom of the fourth, Murphy has only seen 2 at-bats. That's how you know the pitcher for the other team's doing really good. Vieira's doing a great job. And that first at-bat for Murphy was a quick fly out to left field. Looking to give some momentum back to the Rebels here.
Ground ball up the middle off a diving Andrade and into shallow center field for a leadoff single for Murphy. Nice job by Andrade to get a glove on it, but couldn't quite secure it, just kind of knocked it down.
Well, I kind of spoke it into reality. I talked about giving the Rebels some momentum. That's how you do it. Nice little shot right over to second. Really tough play for Andrade to make. You got to give him props for getting a glove on it and slowing it down. That probably could have been another base, arguably, for Murphy there if he did not slow it down, but he did a good job stopping it. First
Called
pitch, called strike there.
We're in sync, Jack.
Yes, we are.
Really nice bunt. That's going to be a hit for Maddox Land. Third base playing way back, and that was perfectly placed for a single from Land. 2 men on, nobody out for Gio Mendoza.
Wow, that is masterful.
Seen a couple Rebels try that tonight with Kehoe playing pretty deep at third.
Mendoza.
Opportunistic from Land.
That's perfect placement. I mean, you see those clips of the NFL quarterbacks like, throwing it right in the breadbasket. That's perfect bunt placement. How about that?
Call, strike. Definitely have the feeling, especially that if the Rebels could score some runs in this bottom half of the fourth, that this game is not over. 8 runs, not insurmountable, especially in the Valley League.
Anything can happen.
Swing and a miss. High heater.
And Torres was up on his feet ready with that ball, ready to go. He was ready to unload that thing over to Masson over at first to try to catch Land unaware. But a good job by him to get back. Mendoza 1 for 1 on the night. Let's see if he can continue that streak here.
Goes down swinging and a nice breaking ball from Fierro. First out of the inning.
Right fielder from Henry Riddle. For 9. Zach Banks.
Zach Banks, next man up for the Rebels. That one's hit high into pretty deep right field, maybe just shy of the warning track. Reeled in. Both runners tag and move up 90 feet. So a long fly out for Banks. Land moves up 90. Murphy moves up 90. 2 runners in scoring position for Jonathan Mallow, one of Newmarket's strongest hitters.
Over at the second baseman, Potomac State College. For 2.
And that's a job well done for Zach Banks. Advance the runners, set up Jonathan Mallow, who's, like you said, a very, very strong bat for the Rebels. Got a great chance here to tack on some runs and start biting into that lead. It's just piece by piece, bite by bite for the Rebels here.
Swinging at the first pitch, fouls it off. So Mallow behind 0-1 to Fierro. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs playing in the bottom of the fourth. Chases an outside fastball for strike 2. A little overeager on that one.
Yes.
Manages to lay off that high heater. You could tell he wanted it.
He definitely wanted that one.
And lays off that one, which is low and away. 2-2.
Now, here's a question for you, Andrew. Do you think that these batters in the Valley Baseball League, do you think that they like to go more on lower pitches or higher pitches? Because I've seen a fair amount of both. What do you think had to take the cake for that?
I think that's going to vary batter to batter. Backdoor breaking ball called strike 3. Rebels are going to strand 2. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left. Hendrik Torres going to lead it off for the Cardinals in the top of the 5th.
No runs, 2 errors, and 2 runners left.
Hendrik Torres leading off for the Cardinals here. We are now entering our intern inning. It is me and Brandon on the mic for this 5th inning. We'll flashback to when Andrew was not able to make it because his wife was in labor. Congratulations to him.
Yep, happy to be here. My fingers were starting to get tired from all this button pushing. I mean,
I know he's
it's not done, but
Brandon, you were very good at that job and makes every stream sound so solid. And as well, I have to give credit to John on the scoreboard. He's doing a good job as well. Here's the 1-1. That one's going to be spoiled back. A little freeze in action here. We're back now. Here's Torres. He digs in with his yellow batting gloves. Fouls that one off yet again.
and Jack, during this intern break, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of these Front Royal Cardinals who have been making some defining plays tonight.
That one's hit well to short. Land grabs it, swings it over to Harriel in time for the first out of the top of the 5th. And continue, Brandon, please. I was interested in what you had to say.
So I think a big turning point in this game and a player stepping up in a big moment was Jonathan Masson in that first inning, or excuse me, second inning, where he ended up drawing a full count on Treadwell, which led to the 4-run scoring outburst from the Cardinals. And then later on in the game, And then later on in the third inning, he got that 2 RBI double.
That one's popped up. Land appears to be under it. He is. Little last-minute adjustments, backpedaling, and gloves it for the second out. Good play by Land. And Masson has certainly had a great game tonight. He's a solid player for Front Royal.
And it was in that third inning he also drew full count, but when he got that walk in the second inning after drawing a full count, that was after Treadwell was starting to come back on the night. He had 2 straight strikeouts.
That one taken. Good eye by Andrade. And I did say I would give the answer to our trivia question. It was the Loma Prieta earthquake of the 1989 Game 3. As no, says the first base umpire on the check swing, it will be a 2-0 count now. It was Game 3. Loma Prieta was the name of the earthquake. It was a 10-day delay. And after 10 days, the A's defeated the Giants 13-7 and would go on to win that World Series.
Oh, we had a close guess up here in the booth. Someone said Game 4.
Yes, John was very quick to answer Game 4. However, close but no cigar. Here's the 3-0. Fouled off, bounces off the umpire's mask. Ouch. You hear that one from Blu-ray Caverns, it sounded like, because that one was very loud bounce. Andrade digs in. Righty on righty matchup here. Here's the deal. High for a 4th ball. And that's a hard-fought win for Andrade as he gets his free pass to first. And Freeman, the designated hitter, now has a chance to continue the onslaught for the Cardinals. There's a righty on lefty matchup here. Here's the pitch. Taken for strike 1. Good pitch there by Giroux. I think I've ever seen a pitcher hold his glove in that windup, really.
Looks like he's wiping his nose a bit there.
Yeah, he's like, it's like he's wiping his nose, like covering his face. As that one's taken inside for an even 1-1 count. One of the most unique, I wouldn't call it a windup, but I'd call it a ready position maybe. But it's one of the most unique ones that I've seen. Pickoff attempt. Scurrying back goes Andrade in time. The pitch. That one's lined well into left. Under it is Murchison, and he will glove it for the 3rd out. That will conclude the top of this 5th frame. We will be right back after this quick break. Back now in Newmarket for the bottom of the fifth of this intern's inning. New pitcher for the Front Royal Cardinals. Watching that one is Murchison for the first called strike. New pitcher is Sawyer Patrick for the Cardinals of UVA Wise from Hazard, Kentucky. Let's see if he can be a hazard for the Rebels here. Sends that one outside. Murchison, Magana, and Terranova due up for the Rebels. You want anybody due up for your squad, those is probably the big three that you want. Got a chance to do some damage this inning. That one's taken for strike two. Solid pitch by Patrick. The 1-2. High. It's out of the glove of Torres. Looked like that pitch didn't catch its break almost. Maybe some issues with the seam. But nevertheless goes high and out of Torres' glove. Lucky there was nobody on.
And speaking of those quality bats in the start of the lineup for the Rebels, wanted to highlight how good Fierro did against Mallow, Murchison, and Magana, only allowing 1 hit and 5 at-bats with 1 walk. And although he did allow 6 hits, he was really able to mitigate that damage and not get too rattled.
That 2-2 pitch goes low in the dirt. Good stop by Torres. Relatively quiet night for Murchison, looking to change that here. He's got a great opportunity. The full count payoff pitch on the way. Here it is. Big swing and a miss there. And the quiet night for Murchison will continue with another forward K. And will take care of the first out for the Cardinals in the bottom of the fifth. 11-3 our score. Front Royal over Newmarket.
Magana Jr.
Magana Jr. steps in. The empty count from Patrick. That one's fouled off right to us.
What a great start for Patrick in the strikeout on Murchison. I was just talking about how well Fierro was doing at mitigating damage, and Patrick just picks up right where he left off.
Exactly. There's a big swing and a miss from Magana. And Patrick now in firm control of this count. Looking to take care of the second out. And this would be a dominant out for the righty from UVA Wise. Here's the 0-2 inside. One-two from Patrick. Breaking pitch. Couldn't find the groove there. Just a little bit high for an even 2-2 count now. So, Brandon, we see a lot of information on Sawyer Patrick. He's played all over the field. Perfect Game had him as a utility player as he sends this 2-2, breaking pitch high. But, Brandon, what do you think? How big of a help is it for a baseball team to be able to have a player that can pitch, that can play in the field, that can play infield, play outfield? How much of an advantage does that give over another team that per se doesn't have that?
And having a player like that, this one's fouled off. Having a player like that is invaluable. I mean, I feel like in college baseball nowadays, you have to have a lot of that depth. You have to have a lineup that can be switched out, throughout the year, but also, maintain that cohesiveness together. So that's great for him.
Payoff pitch, big swing and a miss for the second out. And the dominant strikeout there from Sawyer Patrick. Well, we talked about the heart of the lineup, and Patrick is taking care of it in dramatic fashion, dominant fashion, if you will. Doing a great job. Now he has to deal with Joe Terranova.
And just before the at-bat against Magana, I was I couldn't help but think for Patrick, what a great rep, what a great at-bat it is to go against Magana, go against a former top 10 prospect, put that on your tape, especially for a guy who's only pitched 31 and 2/3 innings in his 2-year college career.
Terranova takes that one inside for second ball. He's 2 for 2 on the night. This is definitely Patrick's biggest challenge so far. Breaking pitch goes way high. Torres had to jump for it, and even then he couldn't glove it. But luckily for him, he struck out the first 2 of the due-up, so nobody's on. Terranova steps back in. And that will be a 4-pitch walk. And a free 90 for Terranova. 1 runner on for the Rebels with 2 gone. Bottom of the 5th, 11-3 our score. Cardinals over Rebels.
Baseman from Port Atlantic. Hayden Harriel.
Here comes the FAU Owl, Jaden Harriel, 1 for 2 on the night. Here's the empty count delivery. Watches that one go low for the first ball. Patrick takes a look back at Terranova on first. Picks and deals. Outside. Breaking pitch there.
Terranova,
Our count now.
sorry about that. And Terranova's, had a great night as well, trying to provide some life to this Rebels offense, going 2 for 2 with 1 run. He batted in a run and, of course, had that double in the 3rd inning.
Certainly trying to breathe life back into this Rebels team. The pickoff attempt from Patrick is not in time. Terranova gets back on his lead. Patrick focuses attention on Harriel. The pitch twisting out of the way is Harriel. Patrick trying to avoid 2 straight 4-pitch walks. Harriel digs in. The 3-0. Twisting out of the way, and that'll be another free 90. 2 straight 4-pitch walks for Patrick. And Murphy now has a chance with 2 gone and a runner in scoring position. Take a chunk out of this Cardinals lead.
And you wonder if Patrick maybe lost his grip a little bit or maybe got in his head after the first 2 Ks, because you noticed that the pitch against the 3rd batter he faced, the one where he kind of lofted it over the catcher. See if he can get back to striking out the Rebels.
Well, we certainly have seen a couple of high pitches from Patrick. Maybe he's trying to adjust that grip a little bit to maybe get that ball to curve back into the strike zone a little bit, but we have seen some high pitches from him. Let's see if he can focus that up here. And he certainly does with that one. It's a fastball right in the strike zone for the called strike. Murphy now, he's also 1 for 2 on the night. The 0-1. Big swing downstairs and a miss. Talked a little bit with Andrew a couple innings ago about high pitches and low pitches. There, he's chasing that low pitch. Here's the 0-2. Another swing and a miss, and down onto his knee goes. It's a swinging strikeout, and that will conclude this 5th frame. We'll be right back after this quick break. 11-3 Cardinals over Rebels.
Luke Monaco pinch hitting against New Rebel pitcher MJ Paramore here in the top of the 6th. Rebels still trail by 8. Two and a half hours into this one, just starting the 6th inning. Did speed up a little bit there with the scoreless 5th.
Well, Andrew, we tried the interns inning in the 5th, but did not work out as it was a scoreless inning for both sides. Rebels were knocking on the door for a few minutes, but
a smashing success as far as quality of commentary.
hey, we try our best.
Leave them wanting more. That's our philosophy. And come back on Wednesday night for more intern action at Rebel Park in the 5th inning. Paramore misses inside for a leadoff walk to Monaco. He'll have to wait for his next turn to get an official at-bat. Here is Jonathan Masson, rocking the blue batting helmet. Paramore finds the zone with that one.
That's a sharp contrast to the red Front Royal jerseys. Definitely color clash there.
Ground ball to second, chance for 2. Land drops it. Taylor made double play ball. I think Land started to pitch it to second before he had fully secured it. E6.
Ooh, and that's a brutal error for the Rebels there. That was a sure double play. Turns into nothing. Now you got a runner in scoring position. 2 runners on with nobody out. And there's now someone beating at the door. And that someone is the Front Royal Cardinals with nobody gone.
JoJo Montgomery, leadoff man in the Cardinals lineup. Next up, hard hit foul ball. Land, pretty solid defensive shortstop. I think he just got a little ahead of himself on that one.
Yeah, he's definitely a great player for the Rebels. Just can't really scratch it up to, it's just a mistake, and that's just an error. That's what really all errors are about. Great players, just a little mistake, and you just gotta have a goldfish memory, like we say, Ted Lasso, and forget about it and let it go.
New season of Ted Lasso not too far away. I think beginning of August. Something to look forward to when the blues of the early fall kick in after the end of summer baseball. Oh, 1 pitch to Montgomery, fouled again. Found myself wishing yesterday that there were complete records of all the Valley League stats going back to the very beginning. The league has been in existence for around 100 years. Stats from the early years just don't exist outside of isolated pockets of stats. But I
That would be
wonder,
awesome, though.
wonder what the longest 9-inning baseball game was in Valley League history.
Well, this certainly is approaching it. It's 10:07 p.m., now 10:08. We're still in the top of the 6th inning. It's unbelievable.
And just wait till that 8-run Rebel comeback pushes us into extras. Another foul at the plate.
Finally have taken down the beetle that has been terrorizing the media booth for the past 45 minutes. It's 2 Beatles, actually.
I had
Successful
had a
takedown.
silent beetle battle during the 5th inning while I was unmiked. Did
Right.
eventually win, but
I had to
it was
swipe a beetle.
embarrassingly slow.
I had to swipe a beetle off your hat.
Hey, that's what teammates are for. One, two to Montgomery once again. Another foul ball. Montgomery's seen 7 pitches in this at bat, fouled 6 of them off. One, two once again. This one's low for a ball, 2-2.
Good job by Montgomery to lay off of that one. Seen a lot of players on that inside and low pitch try to almost take a golf swing almost, and good job by Montgomery to lay off of that and not get a bad strikeout, if you will.
2-2 now. Paramore taking a long set. Fastball gets Montgomery swinging. Nice pitch from Paramore. That'll bring up Danny Orr.
Yeah, great job by Paramore to fool Montgomery. You could tell that he got tricked there with that breaking pitch. See his body language there. Now Danny Orr with one gone, runners in scoring position. Runner in scoring position, if you will.
Jack, you think Maddox Lane would like another chance at a double play ball?
I think he would. I think he'd really give anything for that right now. Because that one was not the greatest look right there for him.
1-0. Some stirring in the Rebel bullpen, but nobody throwing at the moment. Flared into shallow center, down for a hit. Runners had to hold up, so they will only advance 1 base. Single for Orr. Another one that wasn't super hard hit. That one did carry a decent ways into the outfield, but you could tell he didn't barrel it.
Andrew, that's a big time hit. That's the difference between getting a run, maybe 2 runs, versus no runs. When you got 1 gone, that's just such a crucial at-bat. Just a great job getting on base and loading up the bases here. Makes the possibility of multiple runs this inning much more likely for the Cardinals.
First pitch to Drombowski, a called strike. Paramore does have the benefit of the lefty-lefty matchup here.
Yep, as a former pitcher myself, when I see a lefty up to bat, that's probably when I'm facing a lefty, at least that's I feel better throwing pitches because it's a little bit harder. I used to call it a wacky lefty matchup. Sometimes it's a little bit harder for the batter to read a left-handed pitcher's, kind of throwing motion, where the ball's going. So when I used to pitch, I used to really like it a little bit more aggressive when I'm on the mound against the lefty.
2-1 to Drombowski, low for a ball, 3-1. Paramore can't afford another ball here with the bases loaded and 3 up in the ball column on the scoreboard. Three-one. Hit into right at Banks, not overly deep. Runner's gonna try to score, throw in, not in time. Sacrifice fly for Drombowski. Orr stays put at first. Masson advances to third. Monaco scores.
Torres.
And again, mission accomplished there. If you're Dombrowski, you bring in a run. 12-3 ball game now.
Fastball misses up and away.
And if Paramore can just focus in on that strike zone, that fastball is going to be lethal because that thing was moving. Like to have the radar gun on that one. It's not working right now, I do not think, but a little bit body sometimes.
Called strike.
He was able to refocus in on that one. That's a great delivery.
Not sure where the radar gun made its way off to, but Paramore usually right around 90 miles an hour from the left side. Breaking ball just misses. A fastball in. 88 on our gun, usually reads a mile per hour or two slow.
Hovering in the really high 80s, maybe low 90s, 90, 89.56 maybe.
Two now on Torres. Good pies. Full count. Pitch to Torres. Fouled at the plate. I think Torres chased ball 4 there. Another full count pitch. Same spot, lays off this one for ball 4. 4 will move up to second. Bases loaded for Jackson Kehoe. Looks like we're going to get another pitching change for Newmarket. We'll take a quick break, be back with a new Newmarket pitcher in just a moment. Jackson Kehoe, the batter. Jordan Bermudez, the pitcher. Bases full of Cardinals for what feels like the umpteenth time tonight, but I believe is the fourth or fifth time.
Certainly a lot of times that these bases have been fully loaded for the Cardinals. They've had a productive night in the batter's box. Rebels looking to shut them out here.
Hit into deep right. Pagana can't get there. It's all the way up against the wall. 1 run in, 2 runs in, 3rd run in. Bases clearing double for Kehoe. Front Royal dugout having a lot of fun. Not many people in the park that aren't wearing red having a good time at this point, though.
Yep, you could hear a, I don't know what the saying is, you could hear a needle drop in the place. Very quiet.
Sean Andrade gets another turn and fouls the first pitch off.
I'll just revisit that line drive from Kehoe. That's just a really good contact. Got his full body around that one. No chance for Magana. Right in that right center gap. Right to the wall. Really no chance. But just a solid contact, solid line drive. And a good play from Kehoe. That's one he'll definitely throw on the highlight reel.
Off the bat, thought Magana might have a chance,
I did too.
but it was kind of slicing away from him. So for every step he made towards the ball, it was taking a slice a foot or so away from him. Fouled off. Oh, and 2. Foul tip, caught by Mendoza. 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 in Newmarket air, 1 runner left on base. Maddox Land gonna lead it off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 6th. Maddox land leads off for the Rebels. If we are distracted for the next 30 seconds, we're attempting to get free moon pies thrown to us. It is full moon night at Rebel Park, and everybody in attendance gets a moon pie. They're like a chocolate snack cake. Honestly, something that is absolutely horrible to try to eat while calling a game, but delicious. Land bunted for a hit his last at bat. In response, Kehoe now playing a full step in on the grass at third. Takes a step back with 2 strikes. Patrick still on the mound, bounced that one in there.
Yep, I think this is kind of a heads-up play for Kehoe, basically saying, "Hey, the coach basically said, let's make them beat us in a way that, or we got a little bit of a distraction going. We're trying to catch the moon pies, but coach basically said, well, if you can't get a hit, let's make him have to get a hit. So we can't. If he let's make it so he can't bunt." I feel like she's intentionally ignoring us.
Called strike 3 on the 2-2 pitch. Got a shake of the head from Land, it looked like. Gio Mendoza, second man up for the Rebels.
Covering up the catcher from the College of Central Florida. 5, Gio Mendoza.
First pitch in for a called strike, 0-1. Looks like we'll get another Rebel pitcher in the 7th. 2 off days coming up, and the 4th of July holiday this week, which is a Valley League off day, so no need to save any arms in the bullpen. Two and one.
Oh, heads up.
That goes flying on the foul tip. Almost made it over the screen and out of the park.
Yeah, pardon me, on the broadcast, that thing looked like it was going to go over the safety net and into the stands.
We have once again failed to secure moon pies.
We're trying our best here.
Your fellow intern not hooking you up.
I have a feeling that she sees us waving and John is certainly enjoying his moon pie and letting us see very clearly that he has one we do not.
Meanwhile, 2-2 on Mendoza. Rebels trail by 12 in the 6th. Mendoza swings and misses. Second out of the inning.
Right fielder from Henry Riddle. Number 9, Zach Banks.
Zach Banks gets the at-bat with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Zach Banks 0-2 on the night. Takes a big swinging strike there. Struck out in the 2nd, and he also had that fly out to right field in the bottom of the 4th.
One and one. Called strike 1 and 2.
Things you can certainly afford to do when you're up 15-3 is mess around with the PVC pipe and run sprints in the bullpen. That's what the Cardinals bullpen squad is doing, sitting under their tent. Really no action at all.
This is up and away. Full count on Banks. Takes a backdoor breaking ball. Patrick started to walk towards the dugout, but doesn't get the call. 2-out walk for Banks. Jonathan Mallow.
Second baseman, Potomac State College. 2, Jonathan Mello.
Fastball just misses. When we have hit the 3-hour mark of this game with just 2 outs in the 6th inning. As it currently stands, the game would end after 7 with a 12-run lead for Front Royal. Have to brush up on my Valley Go P&Ps there, Jack, but I'm fairly sure it's after 7 innings the game can be shortened. If it's anything short of that, I believe it has to be 15 runs or more.
Yeah, the run rule, I was
I'm
never
not
really
positive
familiar
on that.
with that. Had to kind of teach myself that for college baseball, and I did some games for Virginia Tech for my 3304 sports media club. Had to kind of refresh myself on that rule. Did not really know much about it.
I think in college games, it might not always be in effect, too. It depends on the conference and or it might be in effect for midweeks, but not for weekend series and conference, different things like that.
And we just got our moon pies.
They didn't forget us. John got a second moon pie. Three and one. On Mallow. Pops it up towards third. Might get out of play. Catcher pulls it in right up against the netting and then kind of lunged backwards. P2 ends the 6th for Newmarket. Ray Freeman leading it off for the Cardinals on the other side. Caleb Short on for the Rebels. First pitch, a called strike, hard throwing righty out of Louisiana Tech. One and one on Freeman, the batter. Hard hit ball into right. Hit that one a little too hard and hangs up for Zach Banks. L9 for Freeman. Short has the first out of the inning. First pitch to Monaco, called strike. Entered as a pinch hitter.
Excited to see what Short can do here. His last appearance was on the 25th against the Winchester Royals in that losing effort. Well, he struck out 2 batters. Pretty good in that outing. Let's see if he can continue that tonight.
Short kind of acted as the closer for the most part. That one's ripped into right center field. Magana is able to cut it off. Still going to try for 2. Relay not in time. 1 out double for Luke Monaco. Hit that one hard. Magana was able to cut it off before it got all the way to the wall.
Well, that's what you want from your pinch hitters, making a case for him to be in the starting lineup. That was a nice hit into right center. Magana chased after it, was able to get it and cut it off. But good solid contact from Monaco.
Called strike. Foul ball. That one misses low for a ball. Crowd has severely thinned at this point. You could count them and wouldn't have to go much beyond your fingers and toes. Ariel's got that ground ball. Touches first base on his own, 3 unassisted. To retire Jonathan Masson. Monaco advances to third.
1. JoJo.
JoJo Montgomery, center fielder, is the next man up for Front Royal. Kind of a check swing off his hands. Looks like they're going to award him first base.
Something's happening out there.
Something happening down the left field line. Home plate umpire is walking almost all the way to third. Rebels bullpen is emptying. Not sure if genuinely not sure what happened there just there. Long pause. All I can tell you for sure is that the Rebel bullpen emptied and the entire group walked into the dugout. Not on the field.
Only thing that I can think of that could have happened is they were maybe fooling around a little bit or something. I really don't know what could have taken.
I just can't think of anything that the umpire would pause the game that long for. Somebody just got ejected, I think. Not sure. Genuinely not sure what's going on. Well, it sounds like at least one player ejected from the Newmarket dugout. Back to action. Short fires a strike, swung on and missed. Fly ball to right, center. Magana is under it. He's got it. Matt Murchison leading off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 7th. All kinds of something going on here at Rebel Park. Rebels trail by 12. They do not score 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. The game will be over. 0-2 on Murchison. It's one of those situations where this game may have just gone on a little too long and getting out of hand a little bit on both sides.
Yep, got a player get ejected, just some boiled tensions, frustration from Newmarket. Obviously going to really disregarding anything, miraculous. Probably going to drop to their 6th straight loss here. And now under 500 for the first time this season after a 5-0 start. So, just some pent-up frustration from the Rebels, and Front Row a little bit cocky that they won this game. Beat them twice in 4 days, in pretty dominant fashion. So just some pent-up frustrations, some heavy emotions in Newmarket.
That one's hit into right center. Montgomery makes a diving catch. That about sums up the night for the Rebels, I would say. Montgomery, a highlight reel diving grab in the gap. No quit there despite the big lead.
Yeah, definitely no quit from Montgomery there. He got on his horse. So he ran about 35, 40 yards to grab that, and he was moving for that. He was on his high horse, and he was able to glove that one. Good job from him. Good highlight play. Solid contact from Murchison, but just not in the right spot.
First pitch to Magana, who's now batting right-handed, called strike. And that one's about 2 feet behind Magana's back for a ball.
One swung on.
Ground ball to shortstop.
Little play from Bailey there. He grabs it in his glove, flips it over to his throwing hand. See that on your ESPN top 10, or see that in Banana Ball maybe. That's a good highlight play there.
It's actually Sean Andrade over at short now.
Oh, yes, it is.
Monaco pinch hit, and then they shift it around on the infield.
Andrade, excuse me.
Joe Terranova, last chance for the Rebels tonight. Hit a double basically off the wall in center to drive in a run earlier in this one. Another pitch behind a Rebel batter. Seen that a lot this year, and that is not a typical thing in baseball.
Yep, and that's Ryan Thompson, the lefty from Florida Gulf Coast. Throwing it kind of wacky with the sidearm, and he's had some trouble keeping it in the strike zone.
The sidearm pitcher equivalent of spiking one in the dirt. Just hold on to it a little too long, and it goes right behind that right-handed batter.
Or too little, you plunk a lefty, or
swing and a miss. Rebels down to their last strike now.
And right there, you could just see the hesitation in Terranova's swing. You could see him kind of like almost hesitate. He wasn't taking a full swing. It seems like he's just he knew he wasn't supposed to swing at that, and he did anyway.
That fly ball to right will end this one, or she carries it on the F9.
Front rule, don't forget.
Final line score, 15 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 error for the Rebels. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night.